Loud voices are more important because the quiet ones are still waters that run deep, and we don't want to fish in them. We don't want to dive in them. We don't want to know what they're thinking. Because, you see, loud voices win election campaigns, loud voices win poetry slams, quiet voices write poetry in notebooks and never show them to anyone, but maybe the last guy they dated. Loud voices are more important, they tell me. Loud voices are more important. But this is not about voices. This is not about the tone or how loud it is or how soft you are. These stories are about stories. And you need to hear them and you need to tell them. Hi, my name is Melizarani, and on most days I am a journalist. On every other day, I am a spoken word poet. And sometimes I'm trying to make them both fit together, but they usually don't. Because you see, I come from this place where, well, y'all sitting in it, so you know, we can't say everything you mean. You can't talk about a lot of things. And I always tell myself every day before I go to work, and my colleague is sitting in the audience and I'm very worried he might tell my boss. But the Sedition Act is the lip gloss I wear daily. Because if my lips crack, I will tell you the secrets that you're not supposed to know. Being in the news desk, you learn every day that you have to make a lot of people, big people, sound good. I have to color correct the Prime Minister and make sure his wife makes sense. Although most times, my comrades and I never really look at a microphone or a camera. We're the ones on notebooks and trying to get your story. Our job is to tell your story. And spoken word has taught me one thing, and that I, just like you, are an instrument. Because we are stories, and it's our duty to tell them, teach them, and let other people listen to them. Now, I have to do this. I'm extremely excited. I'm just trying to be very composed right now. 2 years ago, I was sitting in the audience, pushing my way through in a long line of Singaporean people, trying to get to Sarah and Phil K. And I was trying to get Sarah and Phil to sign my book, and the table, I don't know how it happened, but they tore my skirt, and I was like, no, I am going to see Sarah and Phil. And I did, and they probably don't remember me, but it's a true honor to be on the same stage and same poster as they have been. I have learned a lot of things from Sarah and Phil. When 2 years ago, I only had one poem in my back pocket, and I was determined I'm gonna do this spoken word thing. Because you see, I started doing spoken word because I didn't know how to talk about things that were important to me. I don't know how to articulate emotions. And then I figured it out, sometimes. But, you see, when I've heard a lot of poems from Sarah and Phil, but there's this one word. They told me, what's your favorite line from Sarah and Phil? And I'm like, I don't know. You see, because there's only one name that I think of when I think of Phil K's poems. There's only one name that matters, and that name is Nikki Babcock. And I'll tell you why, because that poem has the word vagina in it. And it was the first time I realized we can actually say vagina on stage and get away with it. We can talk about things that are that make us a little uncomfortable, and they're not supposed to make us uncomfortable. But that's the beauty of spoken word. And so, while I'm making people uncomfortable, this poem is a recent one. It's not in memory, but it's on this book. I saw you at the corner of Tengku Kelana, underneath the neon billboard of Along advertisements. Your skin was the color of my rusty heritage, a brown so distinct and iconic, like Klang River. You polluted my heart with catcalls and deep stares that made me want to check my horoscope and wonder what was yours. If you were Scorpio, I was ready to rearrange the stars so you became compatible with Virgo. So, when our shadows met for the first time, I noticed your smile. Pleasant or promiscuous, I could not tell if it was one or the other. So I curved my lips like bending the sides of calendar pages, waiting for a good date to meet your eyes. When it arrived, I was dazzled by the reflective sunglasses you wore at night. Confusion was your standard uniform, dressed in a black shirt that was too branded for H&M because you know you like the material airy, soft, breathable, 100% cotton, made in Malaysia, boyfriend material you are not. The brightest photovoltaic oil lamp in the box. Form 5 was the beginning of your prolific Playboy career. Ambitious flings with 4 college degrees, one after the other, but at 31, I was quite sure that you had finally settled on making educated stabs in a career of false prospects. With developed instincts and greater consciousness like the Ane who knew my order even before I sat down, choosing you was like ordering without a menu. Although the loopholes in your logic was like the center of everybody my diet regrets. I giggled at every Tamil movie reference because you know I like the bad boy type, the kind that holds a 9-year grudge from a 2-month relationship. Shattering your heart against a great wall of ex-girlfriends, you were never gonna dance again, but Careless Whisper was still your theme song. Until you found out George Michael was gay. Gay. You won't get infected lah. I tried to reason, but you'd never listen, adjusting your glasses till your blurry vision could see me straight or in the shape of the void in your family photograph next to your mother. Gyrating to constant hip-hop beats no one else could hear, your every strut was an MIC statement. Important and impulsive, uncontested, you insisted I comb the wild out of my hair as it threatened the royalty of your uncapped mane. I humbly obeyed because your body was shaped by the gods, not Greek but Hindu. Ganesha's large 1-pack and Shiva's eyes. A holy excuse to down another 6-pack of Tiger because your belly was the container of the universe, the sign of prosperity that you wanted me to pray to. I became an atheist. Your hand, added 2 more Tamil songs into my iPod playlist, speaking less British with more la in it. I even learned your mother tongue, but you always wanted us to go French, and I always had a sore throat. Then the astrology reading came back. Whether the bird picked the wrong tarot card or the Guruji was misconstrued, we were star-crossed. Destiny was a predetermined government policy, guaranteed with privileges, just not on our side. Our love was the last chapati you tore into pieces. Dipped in watered-down curry of reasons our ancestors made us to question as they were unable to explain. I took one last look at you, knowing there would be no one else to share my biryani. But there are 8.9 million Indians in this country, a few doctors and plenty of DJs. Some as bald as Dataran Merdeka, and some as hairier than Taman Negara. But every now and again, I will think of you fondly, say a prayer in your name while climbing 272 steps up Batu Caves to the peak of our rapturous affair, throw a stone and hope to God it hits the head of another matcha just Hey, timekeeper, what's up, girl? Right, so, yeah. Okay. So, there are a lot of things that we don't get to say. I know I said pretty much everything I wanted to say. But when I was growing up, I realized that I didn't understand. You see, the government had decided that there was this whole dictionary of words that I could not say. And as you grow older, and I'm 24 now, and as you grow older, you try to make sense. You try to understand that there's some words that they say are offensive, that they say are a threat to national security, is debatable. But there's one power of spoken word that exists, and that power is you can not only hide behind metaphors, but you can learn how to say things and tell stories without actually telling it. So this is the story of, well, this story is actually paying homage to the little girl that I used to be. And anyone from Selangor here? Anyone from Selangor schools? Awesome. Hey, so when I was in school, I had to sing this song every day. It's the state anthem of Selangor. So I have no kapayat quadri, but I am going to sing this song. Duli yang maha mulia selamat di atas tahta. Lanjutkan usia tuanku, rakyat bodohku, bawa dulu tuanku. Blank was what they told me to fill in instead of the A word, or Tuhan, or God, or Jesus, or Buddha, or Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Lakshmi, or Saraswati. We'll figure it out eventually, but for now, it's blank. That they told me, the little girl in the navy blue pinafore, to say every time she stood up straight and sang with all her heart, remember, when you get to that part, you say blank, which is be silent and then finish the rest. Maybe that's why she never became a singer. Instead, she was a poet who still struggled to memorize words that were for her to recite and not realize deeper meanings and understand why she had to spoil the rhythm of the song, because they decided what was right from wrong, but never told her what to say when someone asked, "How come you never say blank?" As the sheet of paper, she wrote down her name, age, and classification of which blank she preferred to bow her head to. She was I, and I wondered if blank existed and what blank looked like. Did blank wear long dresses or a suit and tie? Or did blank speak English, Tamil, Chinese, or Malay? Or was blank here to stay during sunny days and stormy weather? I was never sure. If blank could spot me out of the 7 billion people, or hear my voice against the whines and whimpers of believers asking their wishes to be granted. But is their blank different from my blank? Or are we all just blank trying to fill in the blank? We keep quiet to all that we do not understand, comprehend the fragments of experience through open eye meditation and the sound of silence resonating. As I put my palms together in front of colorful deities for 10 years, but saying, Our Father who art in heaven, when I know deep down that the only attention I was vying for was from my father who was upstairs taking a shower, who educated me and explained that Islam is a profound religion whose worshippers need no location of worship to worship, just a direction, and cautioned me never to trample on hungry ghost offerings on sidewalks, taught me that Christmas is more than Santa Claus, and if you lit candles by the altar, you would be blessed, and that every temple is a GPS, an antenna to give you better reception to the higher power, which I still refer to as blank. And I believed every threat of if you cross this line, then prepare to meet your maker. But what will I tell my children if they were made out of love from one man's blank and another woman's blank, not knowing which blank they really belong to? Because blank is not a word. Blank is not a state of mind. Blank is what we're still waiting to define, the divine. But I don't know when, and I don't know how. Till then, I am